Hello and welcome to another episode of Wealthy Minds Decoded. My name is Minesh Bindi.
And I'm Andy Shaw. Hi.
And we're getting better and better at these intros. It's awesome.
Switch.
It's awesome. Right, so thanks for joining us again. Today we've got another awesome episode talking about something that the wealthy have really perfected. What are we talking about today? Pete, welcome to the show again.
Thank you very much, everybody. Welcome.
I keep forgetting he's there.
Yeah, I know.
It's weird,
He just blends into the sofa, doesn't he?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, it's this shirt, isn't it? It's that sort of disgusting origin colour, just like your sofa. Today we're going to discuss how people live their life hoping to return to the past.
Okay, so this is something that we see happen all the time with people of a poor mindset. What they'll do is they'll experience a point in life which is fantastic. You know, they got that car that they wanted to get, they got that house that they wanted to get, they got that partner that they wanted to get, and then for whatever reason, because all the other stuff that we've talked about in the episodes thus far, they'll experience a point of failure, whatever that means, right? And in that moment, instead of battling through it and designing the future, what they'll do is they'll sit and go, I really had a great Ferrari, or I really had a great house, or I really had a great partner. I can't wait to have that again. I can't wait to, all this other rubbish.
I
hope I have that again. Yeah. And what that does, it really puts you in a negative spiral because you're trying to create the future by reliving the past. Times have changed, the world has changed, you've changed, and you're trying to create the future by living the past. Doesn't work. Whereas the wealthy, if they experience a moment of failure, what they do is say, okay, how do I want to redesign my future? Or how do I want to design my future? And they design it, and they go for it. It's not based on the past.
Yeah, quite right. It's a case of, I don't believe I did it on first thing out of my mouth.
It's a case of.
Well, I'm working on not saying that now.
Yeah, but it's a case of.
Indeed.
It's a case of.
I think
you should just
all
say
I've got
it.
in my mind
It's
is a case of. It's a case
I
of.
think you're so disappointed with yourself. You're dumbstruck, aren't you?
I can never be disappointed with myself.
No?
No.
You're very pleased
not
with
possible.
yourself then.
I'm pleased with myself
Right
when
now,
I get it
at
right,
this moment,
and when I
yeah?
get it wrong.
Right now, at this moment, you're
At this
pleased with
moment.
yourself. Okay, great.
How can I never be not pleased with myself?
So it's a case of.
I can't remember where you finished that subject.
Wealthy people, what they do is rather than worrying about hoping something goes back to the way it was, they'll design their future from scratch, and they'll intend that with no previous baggage of what's happened in the past. It's a case of.
Look, this will never get anywhere.
Just say it's a case of and just get on with it.
People get it wrong because they are looking to recover the past. The past is the past. It's happened. You just design what you want in the future without consideration for the past. We had there was a time when I had 9 supercars parked outside here, and Pete used to call them my tarmac covers because Andy buys supercars to put on the tarmac to cover up spots of tarmac to protect it from the snow and the rain and that sort of thing. Now I could look at it and go, oh yeah, cool. I remember the days when I had all these cars. I mean, personally, I look at it and think, oh, it's horrible, right? But everyone else looks at it and goes, wow, that's fantastic, and that sort of thing. To me, it was like pain beyond belief. But if you're looking to try and recreate the past, your mindset, your ego's using this to keep you trapped there. So it's dragging you away from what you can do to the future. You're not going to live in the past again, but your ego wants you to stay there.
Your ego's actually using this as a mechanism to keep you in your present, right? It doesn't want you to change. The ego's job is to keep you safe in your present. So by having you hoping and wishing, because you can't recreate the past again, by having you hope and wish to recreate the past, you stay in your perfect present, and that's what
keeps you stuck. Its job's to keep you safe, but the future scares it because it's not been there. It doesn't understand the future. It's only got the current situation of what's gone on. It has no concept of the future. So what it does is it seeks to go, oh, wasn't that nice when you had this, or oh, you've got it wrong, now, but you were much better off when you had that. So it's keeping you with your focus in the wrong direction. Whereas a wealthy mindset, you know, what's gone on in the past is like instantly, the instant it's happened, you know, from now to now, it's gone. There's no, you know, when I speak to, I was speaking to somebody in tennis recently, and I was saying it's so important that a tennis player, literally this instant, the point has been won, the game up until that point is finished.
Yep.
It's nothing. You can't, you know, carry a bad point or anything. You have to drop it. And you know, Rafael Nadal's mindset, when he just drops it, the instant he's made a mistake or anything, it's gone. You can see it in his mindset. It's something about the Spanish mentality, because Fernando Alonso has got it as well in Formula One, and you watch their mindsets, and they let it go. And this is a wealthy mindset. This is somebody that because they can't do anything about it. It's happened, so why bring it forward? But if you're forever thinking about something you wrote, oh, I remember those times we were in the pub and it was good. Yeah, it's great to remember them, but it's a case of don't long for them in such a way that it's holding you back. You know, go and create something new.
Actually, and it also couples on with a doubt that you can actually do that again.
Yeah.
Because why would you want to contemplate something that has happened if you've got faith that you can, you know, exceed that?
Again, yeah.
Right? The only reason you're doing that is because you've got a doubt of, I wonder if I can do that again. And that's what holds people back. Wealthy mind doesn't... It's just,
yeah, when I lost all my money, it wasn't a case of I will not be able to go and create money again. It was how am I going to create money again? Which way am I going to do it? It wasn't, will I be able to? It was like, which way am I going to do this to make it better next time? To make it more enjoyable? To take it further than I did before? What am I going to do that? That's all I considered.
So watch yourself in your tonality, in your thinking, in your talking to people, whether you're actually trying to create a new future or you're actually trying to
catch a fly like my cat
catch a fly, trying to escape out the window, do something, or whether you're actually talking about recreating an experience that you had in the past. That's very, very bad, because it holds you in the past. It just keeps you stuck. So right, on that note, what are we talking about in part 2?
Well, guys, I'd like to discuss now how to take action, how to actually move forward and take action without being held down by the baggage from the past.
So this is interesting. We have this with investing, right? People will come to Gold for Life and they'll say, and you have this with A Bug Free Mind as well, right? They'll come to Gold for Life and they say, I've tried investing in property, I've tried investing in stocks, I've tried investing in forex, I've tried investing in whatever else, wine. We actually had one like that, right? Tried investing in wine, I've invested in all these things, right? So I don't think Gold for Life is going to work with gold investing.
Well,
does that
stop trying?
More importantly than that, how does all the experiences of property, stocks, forex, wine have anything to do with gold?
Expectation.
Right, because you've cultivated an expectation for investments to lose. And therefore, every action you're taking in the future is being held down by the baggage of all your experiences. It's something that you really need to pay attention to.
Absolutely. If you can't take action, you have to just drop the past. You know, I've said it. I say this all the time, but the past has no value for you other than reference, other than helping you with a bit of direction. Oh, I got that wrong. Did you get it wrong? Are you sure? Go and have a look at it. How did you get that wrong? Test your assumptions. You know, the past is there as a guide for you. Yeah, but you can't just assume things. You know, people look, oh yes, I got that wrong because of that. And they've judged it, and that's it. And it's now set in stone. It's not set in stone. It's been built on a bit of bog, and they've got no idea that there's no solidity to what they've just said there. It's just because an impression they had at the time, because they've just had an argument with their husband or something like that, and it's just rubbish. And they've, you know, I call it bullshit built on bullshit, because basically people don't know what their the decision they've made, the assumption they've made, was actually just built on sand. It was just rubbish. And you've got to...
And that rule will then go and affect every other decision that you make.
So then it's a case of, so you go from a bad position to a worse position.
Yeah.
And then you end up completely lost because you've got nowhere to go. You've got no solidity around you.
Because nothing works.
Yeah. You've tried, you know, that guy is an example. Well, I've tried property investing, that didn't work. I've tried this, that didn't work. Tried this, that didn't work. Well, this is obviously going to not work too. Where did that come from? Because he's got an assumption, property investing doesn't work. Well, try and say that to the Duke of Westminster. Try and say that to my wife.
Us.
right? It's a case of trying to say that to the thousands of people who've got
The Rothschilds.
the Rothschilds. It's a case of property investing doesn't work. Well, of course it doesn't work. Of course it works. It works for them, just not for you. Okay. What was the other thing you didn't get to work?
Stocks.
Stock trading doesn't work. Well, Mr. Buffett seems to have had a pretty good success with it.
Yep.
You know, and there's countless other people who have as well. So obviously it does work. It's just not the way you're doing it. What was his next thing?
Forex.
Forex, right? You know, it's a case of George Soros seems to be pretty good at Forex.
Say that to the other HFD computer systems that are beating you out in Forex.
Yeah, so you've got a situation where his assumptions are all built on rubbish, on sand. So an assumption, built an assumption, built an assumption. It's just pure rubbish. So it's a case of...
And then when you take, like, for example, my gold for life investment system and put it on top of that, guess what's going to happen? It's not going to work until you re-educate the expectation of success.
You have to... the baggage from the past... When you get something wrong, that's a good thing. Yeah? If something's gone wrong, it's a good thing. And you take the good bits from it. Oh, what did I do wrong? Oh, my expectations were set wrong. I'm trying. I'm not expecting it to work. Therefore, I'm doubting it will work. Right, okay, why am I doubting it? Well, because I haven't done enough research. Why am I expecting it to fail? Oh, my mindset is wrong. Something's going on. Oh, the ego inside my head saying, well, you will fail. Yeah, see, you've always failed in your entire life. And you make a mistake in the past and there's value in it. But you have to mine that gold out of it. It's not sitting on the surface. You have to go and look at it and go, oh yeah, that's a good bit, that's a good bit, that's a good bit. All the rest of that junk's irrelevant to me. Now you've taken the gold out of that failure, because there is gold in every failure, in every business. James Dyson says, learn from your failures, because you'll never learn from your successes. How true that is. Speaking as somebody who's had a string of successes and a load of failures too. Your failures teach you 10 times as much as your successes.
I mean, I haven't found a way to learn from success yet.
It's hard.
Yeah, and in fact, you can only learn. You can call it a success, but what you're actually learning from is the mini failures that led to that success.
Yeah.
You can't learn from pure success. So yeah. Done.
Yeah.
Cool. So case study time. What are we talking about today?
Right, we've had a load of emails in, guys. Really appreciating the case studies you've been doing, so I'm going to have to refrain from using my normal terminology this week. So what I'm going to say now is we need to talk about a case study.
Who are we helping this week?
Sorry?
Who are we helping this week?
This person has a bad mindset in the very area we're talking about today.
Okay.
And if you can focus on that, that would be great.
Cool. So this person who we're going to talk about, really, they're a perfect example of what we've talked about.
You're right there, mate.
I thought someone always jumped over us. Oh, right, okay. Interesting.
Yeah,
Great.
hang on a minute.
He just jumped over the sofa. We thought an action movie's going on here. So naturally, as guys,
Sofa nearly fell over, you know.
Our attention goes
okay.
straight there. Right. So this person has got is perfect example of what we've just talked about.
Carrying baggage with them, basing assumptions on what what's gone wrong for them in the past that are not real. All of these sorts of things.
Basing their future on.
Yeah, so they're looking at their own, surroundings. You know, it's a case of Wallace D. Wattle said it takes great power of mind to think about abundance whilst in the trappings of poverty. And
that's a brilliant quote.
This person is suffering from exactly that because they can't see past their own appearance of continually not getting there.
And it's more based on their appearance of what other people think about them.
Yeah, it's so much another person thing. Quite agree, sorry.
Yeah, so you've got to be very careful when you are talking about your future life and whatever you're trying to design based on the whatever assumptions that you think other people have made of you based on your previous life.
Yeah, it's trying to prove something. You don't need to prove to other people.
I mean, this person talks about, I mean, to spark a little bit, we're trying to be very careful here, but to spark a little bit of conversation, they talk about, the glory days of a business that they had a few years ago that was doing very, very well, and they talk about the glory days. Those were the good days. These are all terminologies that I've heard, right? Those were the good days, etc.
As if I can't get them back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and you really need to get over that. And how do you think you get over that?
Well, you look at it and you go, look at the value that business had, the nuggets of gold. And you take the nuggets of gold. What was I doing right then? What was I doing then to create the success that I'm not doing now?
Yeah.
You know, what was I doing to
create that value,
which has been eroded from my current mindset now? Because people think that it's linear. So the longer you're around, the cleverer you get. You might get clever, you might know this wonderful stuff called knowledge and that sort of thing, but
knowledge is worthless.
Yeah, knowledge without application is absolutely worthless and is actually destructive. Yeah, and so the problem is, as they acquire this knowledge, of course, the programming gets deeper and deeper and deeper.
Yeah.
And the longer the period of these appearances of poverty stay, the harder it is to actually progress past it. You know, you're stuck where you are. You can't progress past it.
So go and look at that. Go and look at what you're trying to create. So
our friends just turned up.
Go and try and create what you are. Go and look at what experiences you're basing your future on, and that will give you a really good insight as to what you need to overcome first. And then you can go and do it, and you can create a new design. You can go and create new wealth without having any of the baggage that you have.
Correct. It's recognise your baggage. If you sit there and you go, I expect this to fail, or you doubt it, you just have that feeling inside you where it's not going to work. Yeah, why is that there? Where's that feeling come from? It's probably come from something that's happened to you in the past. Well, so what you're saying is then, I'm going to relive the past again, so you've learnt nothing from it. So you've wasted your time.
And more importantly, you're hoping to relive the past again. Think about it.
Yeah.
You're hoping to relive the past.
Which is the worst thing you can do anyway. Right. Hope is the worst. But if you don't recognise the baggage you're carrying, you can't progress.
Yeah.
And until you actually break down your mindset and you look at it and think, if you said, if anybody who's read Richard Branson's book, Losing My Virginity, he talks about mistakes he made in there. He doesn't carry them with him. If I carried the mistakes with me that I've made, I could not do what I'm doing. I could not go and create new businesses. I couldn't do it because you're carrying baggage. You have to put that baggage down. And there's bits of what I've done though, which are pure nuggets of gold, which I carry with me because you want to keep the gold, don't you? You want to keep that with you so you can take it forward.
Yeah, I think that covers that very well. You guys just go and have a look at what experiences you're basing your future progression on, and then that will give you the answers to what you need to have a look at and get rid of. Now, considering our director
has gone off with our friend,
I think I would assume that's the end of the show. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next week. Take care. Bye bye.